Good stuff. We've got 12 folks in the waiting room, and I'm going to start.
it's going to be, I think it's going to be really good and pretty simple for us to do. So with
Uh,
that said, the hope is that we're able to get some and to get moving. So I'll
I,
be waiting for Rachel to say that it's a go, and it looks like it is a go. So I guess we're going to start off by introducing the Kahoot app or the thing, and that's going to be our boy Ben, our technical guru, we're grateful to put all of this together. So Ben, if you're able to take that away.
Sorry, yeah, it wouldn't let me unmute. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm going to be your guys' Kahoot expert today. If you haven't used Kahoot already, it's super popular with the younger generation, so like kids in high school and kids in middle school. If you have kids, they've probably, I mean, not probably, they've done it. They've used Kahoot before. And basically what it is it's just a trivia competition. There's going to be a question that pops up on the screen, and then there's going to be 4 multiple choice answers. The only thing about this is you're going to need 2 devices. So the device that you're watching me on right now, you cannot use for the Kahoot. You need your phone or an iPad, another computer, a desktop, any other tablet or device works, but you're going to need 2. That's because you're going to need to go on a separate device to log into the Kahoot so you can play. Because my screen is going to be showing you the questions and the options, and then you're going to be inputting the answers on your own device. So I'm going to share my screen with you so I can get this going right now. Here we go. Boom. So here is the Kahoot. Yeah. If you could go into settings and allow people to, well, I don't know, because I might mute myself again. But yeah, so here, sorry about that. Okay, here's the screen again. Yeah, just join in this page. And then the first question that I've written for you guys is going to be a practice question. So everybody can warm up and see how it goes if you haven't used it yet. Oh, and let me put on some volume for you guys. The music is great. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Anybody's having trouble joining, you can see right here, you go to www.kahoot.it, and then you enter this game pin. It'll show you a prompt, and then you can put in any nickname you want, but please do something appropriate. I'll give everybody about 2 more minutes. This first question, again, is going to be a warm-up question, but it will count towards your final score. Don't worry, super easy question to get right. There's no knowledge you really need. It'll be obvious what the right question is. But again, you should be looking at my screen right now. It's going to show you all the options. And then the color on your phone, there's going to be 4 colors that pop up on your phone. the color that corresponds with the answer you want. Just click on that color, and it'll input your answer, and then it'll show you where you stack up against everybody else, because it'll show you the leaderboards and tell you what rank you're in out of everyone. All right, I'm gonna give everybody about 30 more seconds. Actually, it seems like we still have a lot of people joining, so I'll do another minute.
And what this music is just fantastic. We don't need anything else.
I know, the music is really fun. I've played this app probably, 1,000 times, and the music still hasn't gotten old. All right, now let's do 30 more seconds.
Hi, I've got a question. When you go in, I don't see the option to where you can add a number. I see an option to where you can start a game.
Oh, did you go to Kahoot.it? Or just Kahoot?
I went .it.
Okay, let me just see really quick, because I'm going to do it. And I can help you through it probably. Kahoot.it. So I typed in Kahoot.it in my browser, and right away showed me the game pen. So it should work for you. I don't know if you can see my screen. But it worked. It worked for me.
Okay, I'm just wondering where you put it in on the actual site.
Yeah, you just type in, if you go to Kahoot.it, the first thing it should bring up should be a big place where you can enter the whole pin.
Oh, so you don't have to sign in or anything, right?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
All right, I'll get you another one. I'll send it to you right now.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
All right, okay, we're gonna get started here. Okay, everybody get ready for the first question. It's just a warm-up, and we'll take it from there.
Oh, I'm so excited. Question number 1. Where's
This
the
is
drum
first
roll?
question. It just says choose the correct answer. Everybody choose the correct answer. So right now you should have something on your second device pop up. There should be 4 colors, and just choose the correct color. You can see the timer on the left. You guys have 30 more seconds to input your answers before the quiz shuts off and moves to the next question. Ten seconds for anybody who didn't answer yet. All right. So, as we can see from the results here of our warm-up question, 18 people chose correctly, 2 people chose incorrectly. Actually, a combined 5 people chose incorrectly. For everybody that chose incorrectly, I'm assuming it's just because you didn't understand the game fully yet. So again, just choose the color that corresponds to the answer that you want, and you should everything should work out for you. And then boom, we're gonna hit next. So this is the leaderboard now. It looks like Madeline is in first place with 976 points. That's because Madeline, not only did she answer correctly, but she also answered the fastest. You get more points the faster you answer these questions. It looks like Dr. K is in second because he answered second fastest. He's only 4 points behind. That's probably a difference of a millisecond. We have K in third, Corbel in fourth, and Smarty in fifth. You get points for answering questions faster than other people. You also get points for answering multiple questions correct in a row. The more you answer in a row correctly, the higher your answer bonus streak increases. So there is some strategy in this game. You got to think to yourself, is it better if I answer a question faster, or is it better if I get the answer correct? So that's a question that you guys have got to answer yourselves. So now, if everybody's good, we could get into the actual trivia. Rachel, should I continue?
I am actually going to break in right there because it looks like we may have Lieutenant Governor Fetterman on the call.
Okay, cool.
All right, John, welcome.
Oh,
Hey, how are you?
Fantastic.
So, if you want to take on the,
Am I on there, Rachel?
just a second. Yep, there you go.
Hi, John. How are you? Good to see you, man.
Hey, Rick, what's going on, brother?
I'm happy to see you here. For those who don't know, and I can't imagine that anyone doesn't, this is the former mayor of Braddock, Pennsylvania, former Senate candidate, current lieutenant governor, and hopefully soon, U.S. senator from Pennsylvania in 2022. But if you weren't paying attention in 2020, our Senate actually tried to throw him out of the building. And all of us, I think, want to know, how you handled the coup attempt there, John.
These are strange days, Rick. You know that better than anybody, and I don't know what's going on. And what they're going to do this upcoming week is even worse, and they're going to make attempts to gerrymander the state Supreme Court, and they're going to pass a Senate resolution that's ultimately going to go to the voters as a ballot referendum. And we're going to need your help, everyone's help, all hands on deck to really let voters understand what this is all about and what's going to be happening in the primary election. They are trying to slide that into the the state constitution to really eliminate the Supreme Court in Pennsylvania as we know it today as a democratically elected body from across the state. And they are going to turn it into like a district thing, which is really nothing more than just gerrymandering.
Yeah, more gerrymandering of our court system. We're in this moment where, I think a lot of people, and what my fear has been, is that this is going to be like 2009 where we won and people go home. They disengage. As we're, what I'm getting from you is now is the time we need to be ramping up our activity.
And I hope that's not the case, Rick, because I got to tell you, it's really urgent, literally, this coming May, they are going to attempt to eliminate the state Supreme Court as we know it in Pennsylvania. The Republicans love the Supreme Court so long as they had a conservative control. And then, of course, we hustled and we seized control in 2015. And instead of saying, maybe we should run better candidates, or hey, maybe we should try to hustle, they said, well, you know what? Let's just gerrymander the whole thing. And that's all they do now. It's like, if I win, hey, I love it. The voters love me. If Joe Biden wins, it's rigged, it's fraud, you cheated. The state Supreme Court, I don't like those decisions. You know what? Let's change it all over. It's outrageous and vile. And I choose those words very specifically. So we're going to need, your big platform and everyone that's on this, because that's going to be an all hands on deck situation come May. Otherwise, that is going to become inculcated into our Constitution, and that is going to have profound impacts on Pennsylvania for generations.
Now, we're looking at the U.S. Senate right now, and right now it's a 50-50 split. In 2022, the big concern is that it could go one way or another. That's why I'm so thrilled to see that you formed an exploratory committee and that you're exploring that option. And let me be, I'm sure, not anywhere near the first to say that I want you fully in it. So how can we help, and how can others help make sure that you get into this?
Rick, I just want to say you've always been a great friend, and you've always been kind, and you've always welcomed me on your show more times than I can count. So thank you for all that over the years. And just doing what you're doing, I'm always happy to show up. One time I was on at 10 o'clock and I fell asleep. It was a really long day, so I apologize for that one time. Let me just say that. But anytime, like this, I'm always delighted to be on, Rick. You've always been a great friend, and you got a great platform, and you have a great message. So thank you. Didn't
answer the question. How do we help? What do we do?
I mean, small dollar donors right now, our average just actually dropped even lower. We're we're now down to around $20 our average donor. I mean, we have, well over, I think it's 32,000 grassroots donors so far, and all we're doing is exploring. So I'm beyond grateful and humbled. So if anyone wants to, go to our campaign site, check us out, follow us on social media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, etc. And and the decision's going to be coming sometime next month. So absolutely, I'd love to come back on. When that decision's made.
John, you're welcome here anytime. We've been having you on the radio program for, it's got to be at least 12, maybe 13 years now.
Yeah, I like I said, it's been a long-term relationship, and it's one that I value because you have such an authentic, grounded voice, and you always are there to champion the union way of life, and I'm always glad and grateful with the opportunity to come on because you reach a great audience, and I really believe I share the same kind of values as you and your audience does.
You're a good man. I hope people will go to johnfetterman.com. We'll drop some links into the chat room. If you can make a donation, anything helps. I'm sure that John and the campaign would most certainly help. Last question I've got for you, because this is about infrastructure, and you come from Braddock, Pennsylvania, a place that's a fairly high poverty area, and poverty-ridden areas have poor infrastructure. Our state of Pennsylvania, sadly, has a fairly poor infrastructure. We need massive rebuilding. We need Biden's Build Back Better plan. Can you give me the pitch?
I'll give you the pitch. I know the pitch, and this is what we've already been trying to do in Pennsylvania. Governor Wolf, for the last 2 years, we've been trying to institute a severance tax on natural gas extraction, over $4.5 billion to do just that, build Pennsylvania back, our infrastructure. You may be familiar with my pitch to help legalize weed in Pennsylvania too. Again, $5 billion over 20 years minimum, that kind of a dollar amount, all of which would be reinvested into Pennsylvania. Much of it, I suspect, in infrastructure, because that's one of the needs that unites small rural county Pennsylvania with urban areas and suburban urban areas like, where I live, Rick. So it's free money on both cases. We're going to extract this gas, and it's all your resource and mine and every Pennsylvania resident's. Why are we the only state that doesn't tax it? And there's the thriving weed market in Pennsylvania already. Let's make it a legal one, and let's get that revenue. Let's get that justice. Let's get that freedom, and let's get a cash crop for our farmers. And really, it's just it's a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. And all those dollars. I'm sorry, my son just zoomed by.
That's a good thing.
In 2020, 21. Yeah, there we go. So yes, thank you, August. Thank you for that. But anyway, Governor Wolf and I, when he releases the budget on Tuesday, those are two big things in his budget that would literally deliver close to $10 billion over the next 20 years to do just that, rebuild Pennsylvania's infrastructure and a lot of other really great services here in the state.
And it's all about the jobs, in my view. At the end of
all about the jobs, the jobs in the union way of life, and paying those kind of dividends that will last when my son is my age.
So he doesn't just have to ride around in circles in your living room.
It's just he likes to. I don't know.
Dude, that's great.
I don't approve of that message, but I can't really stop him at this point.
And look, as a father of 3 kids, I approve. Good stuff. To me, it just shows you're authentic. You're one of us, and I always appreciate you having you on, John.
Rick, it's always been a pleasure all these years. Thank you, brother, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Good stuff. Thanks so much, John. Appreciate it. Again, johnfetterman.com is his website. You've got a couple extra bucks. Make sure you throw it to him. We want him as our next senator in Pennsylvania. So now, John's done. Let's get on to the game, shall we? What is the first question, Maestro?
I actually had to restart the Kahoot because my Wi-Fi crashed. But it's all for the best, I think, because now we have more people that want to join.
Okay.
Play. So this is the new. Everybody join this. It's the same one, but it's just new. Yeah. Pin's different. You got to rejoin. And I'll give everybody a good amount of time to get in. First question still going to be that bonus question. So if you were here for the bonus question, just remember, you know what the answer is. So got to answer it fast if you want all those points. We had about 30 people in the last game, so should have quite a bit in this one.
You got to love the music. I got to tell you though, it was good to see John again. It's been too long since I've had him on the program, but he's always one of those guys who's very authentic. He comes from Braddock, Pennsylvania, which is an old steel town that is just for at least the last 20-25 years, one of the poorest communities in Pennsylvania. And he's one of those guys, a very hands-on guy, and him and his fabulous wife Giselle. They do just incredible work in the community. They started like a free store where people make donations and people from the community just come and get what they need. That's the kind of person I want in the halls of power. That's the kind of person that I want representing me, who understands what it's like to have to get to work on time, what it's like to have to deal with everyday problems, not the millionaires club that we got now. And one of the other things that he has, John, if you don't know, he's got tattoos all over the place. He looks more like a biker than a lieutenant governor. But on his arm, he has the zip code of Braddock, and if anyone was killed while he was mayor there, I think he tattooed the date on his arm so that he would never forget those people and never forget that this horrible stuff had happened. And I'm not a big tattoo guy, but if you're going to get one, I look at John as just one of those guys that I wish all politicians would aspire to be. So I'm happy to have him on. So Ben, we ready to get rolling? Did we get that all set up? Everybody logged in and ready to roll?
I hope so. Yeah, I hope everyone went to Kahoot.it, and I hope everybody typed in this game pin. If you haven't, let's just do 10 more seconds. Maybe one more person is confused.
I know I am.
It doesn't look like it. All right, let's start.
I had a number of people text me, what is that again? So let's get to question number 1. This is one that maybe even I can get. So the first one is choose the correct answer. You find the color. And all right,
somebody. Oh. All right. Now for the real trivia. See the leaderboard. All right. Looks like Vicky and Smarty were very. Oh my God, everyone's really close. All right. Next question.
All right. According to the 2019 World Economic Forum Global Competitiveness Report, which country is not in the top 10 in utility infrastructure? Which is not in the top 10. Wow. I can't believe everyone got that. That's right. The U.S. is not in the top 10. In fact, the U.S. is number 13. Singapore is the... no, wait a second. In utility. Oh, you screwed me up on this. Yeah, that's correct. The United States is not in the top 10. In fact, we're 27th in the world in information communications technology. And I think we're 23rd overall in utility infrastructure. So there is that. Let's move on to the next one. Which segment of the U.S. infrastructure received the highest grade? Which received the highest grade in our infrastructure? Is it A? Oh, I guess I don't. Do I have to read them? A, aviation, parks and recreation, rail, or transit? Aviation, the birds are the best. Parks and recreation. I don't know who Leslie Knope is, but I'm sure she would be proud. Rail, got to keep the freight moving, or transit. Wow, this is where we separated, folks. Rail got the highest grade of all. We got to keep that freight moving. It got a B on the report card, the only B that we got as a country and infrastructure. And what rightly so, because we need the rail to get products around and keep Wall Street fat and happy. So there's that. We're separating folks out. Let's move on to question number 3. Ooh. This is where we're separating the women from the rest of us. What is not something that the American Society of Civil Engineers believes needs to happen to improve our infrastructure? What is not something the American Society of Civil Engineers believes needs to happen to improve our infrastructure? A, information and planning. B, bold leadership. C, let Wall Street profits dictate our needs. Or D, planning for sustainability. And all right, look at that. Now here's the thing. This is where I kind of question, because during the Trump years, they wanted the invisible hand to do everything. And sadly, the invisible hand's been giving us the invisible finger. They actually wanted Wall Street in some scheme to set up a whole bunch of public-private partnerships that would use public money to build infrastructure so private interests could run them and control them. We got nothing. So there was nothing done during that time period. Let's see where we are in the leaderboard. And looks like Suze is going to stay right there at the top, but Snow Maiden catching up quickly. Let's move on to the next.
I can, I'll just jump in. It looks like we have Jennifer with us.
Okay. Hi, Jennifer. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I cannot complain. Are we ready for this now?
I'm happy to stick around if you guys want to play on.
Okay.
Up to you, Rachel. You're the maestro.
All right. Yeah, if you're fine to stick around, can I listen in on some of the questions? Let's get back to it.
All right. Well, Susan Snow Maiden at the top of our quiz. Let's go to the next one. QAnon believer and this is a traitor question. QAnon believer and Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene received her House committee assignments. Which committees did she join? A, banking. B, labor and education. C, intelligence. Or D, foreign relations. Whoa, these are tough. These are tough ones. Which ones would you put Marjorie Taylor Greene on? All right. A lot of people got it right. Sadly, you are right. Labor and education, and what I got to tell you, I think this speaks volumes to what the Republican Party thinks of labor and education. To put her on those two committees, someone who believes that all of the shootings were hoaxes and the shooting up in Sandy Hook was a false flag, and just the insanity that's come out of her mouth. You're going to put her on the education committee? Seriously? But for me, it goes, well, this is exactly what I would expect from the Republicans who hate workers and really, really hate an educated populace. So not surprising on that one, but hey, the vast majority got a hold of that one, and that's good. Let's move on to see where the leaderboard takes us. Oh, have we got a change? No. Well, I see some DCJ jumping up in the rankings. Let's go on to the next question, see what that brings us. The next question, number 6, rail infrastructure along the Northeast Corridor is older than what major world event? The birth of actress Betty White, World War II, World War I, or the Vietnam War? Which major world event is our Northeast Corridor rail infrastructure older than? I think there's gonna be a lot wrong on this one, because I'm kind of in this spot where I think people are gonna fall for the easy. Let's find out how folks did on their answer. Look at that. The majority were right and guessed World War I. Yes, our rail infrastructure is that old. And the thing is we have so much that goes over that rail infrastructure. It's stuff that we use, all the time. In fact, the Northeast Corridor stretches from Washington, D.C. to New York City. It is the busiest rail corridor in the entire country. More than 2,000 trains travel through that corridor each and every day. And the thing is we haven't spent enough. We haven't done enough to upgrade that, and I'm hoping that the Biden administration does some of that. Let's go on to the next question. Question number 7. Or let's first the leaderboard. We have Snow Maiden falling out of the top 5. Next question, I'm sure we'll see them jump right back in. I got Suze, DCJY, and Renato, our good friend Renato Mariotti, jumps up into 3rd. Dr. K and Beth. All right, let's go on and see where we are. Question number 7. According to the 2019 World Economic Forum Global Competitive Report, which country has the best overall infrastructure? Is it Singapore, Zimbabwe, South Korea, or the U.S.? This is a really simple one. There should be no one that gets this wrong. Singapore, Zimbabwe, South Korea, or the U.S. Pick your color. I think I can guess. I know which one's not. So let's move on to see what we got. And Singapore. I guess South Korea, you could argue, would be they're in the top 10. They're number 6. Clearly, nobody guessed Zimbabwe because Zimbabwe is 129th. The U.S. 13th, not even in the top 10. But at least we're not Haiti at 141 and last place globally. So good on there. Let's move on to the next question. Or did anybody move around? Leaderboard stays pat. Let's move to what is the next question, number 8. If the U.S. continues limited investment in highways, bridges, and public transport, household businesses will incur major losses of $2 million in extra costs, $2 trillion in extra costs, $500 million in extra costs, or just a mere $3 in costs. Which is it? 2 million, 2 trillion, 500,000, or $3? I think this one's pretty simple. I think we've all learned about numbers. Clearly. All right. 2 people said $3. Wow. Okay. That one shocks me. Yeah, it's $2 trillion over the next decade, I believe. That we're going to see it in massive costs if we continue the level that we're at now. Let's move on to the next question, or check the leaderboard first. Special K. All right, we got a Dr. K and a K. Let's move on to the next one. God, I hate these questions being jumbled up. The American Society of Civil Engineers says failure to make sustained investments through 2039 will cost the U.S. economy $10 trillion, more than $23 trillion, more than 3 million jobs, or all of the above. $10 trillion in GDP, nearly half of our annual GDP in 2019. All right, well, I guess it's going to answer it before I can go through it again. Yep, all of the above. We're going to incur all of that. The job losses, the loss to our GDP, and the loss in total output. That's not good. Not good at all. Which again tells us why we need to have a massive investment. Let's check the leaderboard, see how we're doing. Let's see if K has stayed in, or if we got a couple of new ones. Garden Crone popping into the top 5, and DCJY has overtaken Sue in the top spot. Wow, that is fantastic. Let's go with another one. Let's go to the next question and see what we've got going on here on the infrastructure front. Number 10. Of the total impacts projected in the American Society of Civil Engineers study, 20-year study, when can Americans expect to be hit hardest by the inaction? Is it going to be within a year, within the next 5 years, between the 5th and the 10th year, or between the 10th and the 20th year? Oh, a lot of people said within the next 5 years. Their answer was between the 10th and the 20th year. In fact, they said that 3/4 of the costs will happen then. Their answer was, we're going to not see the major problems happening right away. We're going to, basically live off of the past investments that we've had, and in that final 10 years, in that 10th to 20 years, more than 3/4 of that is going to happen. And it's like anything. If you put off long enough, it's like if you have a hole in your roof. If you don't fix it today, tomorrow it's going to cost you a couple bucks more. Down the road, it's going to cost more. Down the road, it's going to cost more until eventually you got to replace the whole damn thing. And it's going to cost you a lot. This is the same thing. The longer we put it off, the more expensive it's going to be for us to catch up. So there is our answer there. Let's go with one more. Let's go to the leaderboard, see if we got any changes. A lot of answers all over. Oh, look at this. Corbel jumps all the way to the number 1 spot. We've got DCJY falling to number 2. Sue's right there at 3. Renato and Garden Crone round out the top 5. Outstanding. Let's go to one more question before we go to Jen Clymer to talk about Being Prepared and her movie that I highly suggest everyone watch. Let's check out the next question before we go off to Jen. Question number 11. This treason-adjacent senator hates avocados. A newspaper wrote, this is what happens when we elect a Canadian. Is it Josh Hawley, Mitch McConnell, Ted Cruz, or Lindsey Graham? Wow, avocados. I don't know how you can. Well, look at that. I think everyone. We banged right through that. All righty. Well, Ted Cruz was obviously the answer. I don't know how you can be a senator from Texas and hate avocados, but he does, which I guess would explain why we have the newspaper saying they don't like it. But their top 3 so far, Corbel, DCJY, and Sue's round out our top 3. 10 out of 11 and 9 out of 11. Good stuff. So for those who don't know, there's a fantastic movie out there. It's called Be Prepared to Stop, directed by Jen Clymer and her incredible team. I talked with Jen I think it's been about 2 years now since this came out, where she was talking about what happens if the trucks stop. What happens if our roads are like Puerto Rico was during the hurricane and you can't get things from point A to point B? What happens when the trucks stop? Here to share some thoughts about her piece, and also hopefully you'll check it out, and you'll check out her website, bepreparedtostop.org. Is our good friend Jennifer Clymer. Jennifer, thanks for taking time for us.
Of course. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Welcome to our trivia night. I appreciate you taking some time for us.
I love it. I love the quick answers that I'm seeing everybody put in there. I was trying to hang back and, give a thoughtful answer later in the timeline so that
no, it's boom, boom.
Right?
No time for cheating.
Right.
No time for cheating.
And the Canadian, treasonous Canadian senator or seditious who doesn't like avocados. I knew that one right away, but thought, again, I don't want to steal the spotlight.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome to play along just like anyone else.
And so much fun. So how many times have you guys done this already?
This is our second time. This is our second time.
All right.
It's our first time with Kahoot, so we're working through it, and I think we're doing a good job. I'm happy to see everyone getting it. I love it. Let's talk about the film you guys did and why you did it. Again, sure. BePreparedToStop.org, the website. We'll drop links in the chat room, hopefully, so people can take a look at it. But explain why'd you get into this?
So a few years ago, I was in Washington, D.C. for a short film that I had executive produced. There was a film festival going on, and I was, running into various people. One person that I got the chance to meet was someone from the trucking industry. And when he kind of walked quickly around what he does, I was like, just say it. You're in transportation. That's like the best and most important thing that this country relies upon. And he said, nobody says things like that to me. Like, how is that you already understand that? My grandfather was a truck driver. I get very frustrated still driving in Los Angeles and seeing people cut trucks off. And he said the reason that he was in Washington, D.C. was to make the case for failing infrastructure and for regulations around trucks that needed to be better understood by the American public. So I said, well, I'm here because I'm a filmmaker, and perhaps what you're passionate and speaking so passionately about is something that could be shared with the public through the form of a documentary. So in a pretty quick form, about a year and a half into research and getting my team together, we had most of the interviews shot, and we were ready to roll out this great documentary. And the 2016 election happened. And nobody was paying any attention to infrastructure. So we held on to it for a little bit. We did show it in the halls of Congress. We had a screening at the Capitol. And it's been one interesting sideshow after another in terms of our government. Now
very generous of you.
Trying to be. I was that geek at my computer, really excited that maybe there will be people around our former president who would forward the agendas that matter to the rest of us. And there was a press conference on infrastructure. They had this 14 different pages of paper taped together with how they were going to cut through a lot of the red tape. And then somebody asked him about what was going on with Charlottesville. I had stepped away. Actually, I think I had stepped away to talk to you, Rick.
I think so.
I think we had a phone call in that moment. And when I got back to my computer, nobody was talking about infrastructure, and I didn't know why. It's because Trump said at that point there were very good people on both sides.
Yes.
So any kind of oxygen around a conversation on infrastructure has been sucked out of every room for the past 4 years. Now, with Pete Buttigieg, with Biden and all of his team, we are so excited. Be Prepared to Stop is on YouTube, available for free. We just want people in the public to see it, to understand the importance of the transportation industry on our economy and on our everyday lives. Certainly, you add a pandemic into the mix of what the last administration had offered us. We get to know the delivery in the transportation industry is critical. And it's an opportunity for us to honor that industry and give everybody a bit of a touch point for what you can do, not just call your senators and call your representatives, but simple things that you can do day and day out on the roads to make it a safer environment for you and for the trucks that you're sharing the roads with.
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie you guys have done, and I highly suggest it. As someone who's driven a truck for years, well over 1 million miles of accident-free driving, I got to tell you, the people cutting you off is just incredible. And I always say, look, they're just dying to get ahead of me, because sometimes that could happen. Because I don't think we do enough to train four-wheelers on how to drive around trucks. There's a reason that space is in front of the truck, because he needs it to stop. It wasn't there for you to just come sneak in right before the exit. But I do want to get a couple of quick questions in so folks can understand.
Please.
Trucks are a vital part of what we do, and I know people love to swear at them, but we're a society that swears by them. You don't get anything to a store without them. Give us a little tease on what happens when trucks stop rolling.
You can see on our YouTube page, there's a trailer. One of the themes that we have in the movie is 5 days without a truck. And it gets rough around day 2, day 3, where there's no money in your ATM. Now, through the pandemic, not very many people are running to banks to get actual cash anymore, but it is a good, it's a good marker for things that you think are consistent and just would normally happen. But if a truck can't get through, you don't have fresh linens for hospitals. Medicine runs out really quickly. And of course, by day 5, there are true health implications with something as simple as trash removal. So 5 days without a truck is something that you will see illustrated throughout the movie. I will also say one of the things that we talk about is the future of infrastructure and the importance of re-engineering and reimagining what our roadways can be and how they can be safer. There's a lot of just really fascinating breakthroughs in terms of the science of infrastructure that with the right leadership, we could be implementing on our own roads. I grew up in the Lehigh Valley. Ice on roads is a big problem. The potholes that you experience, we need to stop repairing and start healing. There's a substance called self-healing concrete, where it has an agent in it that has a calcification. Once that gets wet, once it breaks, it recalcifies, so it fixes itself. We need to be exploring these innovative ways so that we're not having the stoppage and we don't ever run into a situation like we've illustrated in the documentary. I totally geeked out around that kind of stuff, though.
As you should. No, that's incredible stuff. So maybe we don't have, 'cause if you grew up in the Lehigh Valley, you know what it's like to get past Shanersville Road and Airport Road and MacArthur Road. You know that
Sure
that insanity that is. But you also know 78 is a roller coaster ride of horrible concrete that is under construction constantly because we don't have the self-healing concrete that we should. So that just sounds really fantastic. Last question I've got for you, because we've got a new president. I'm thrilled to have Joe Biden in the White House.
What? We've got a new president?
Yes, we do. I can't believe you don't know that, because Twitter hasn't been exploding daily, and we haven't been ready to slit our wrists every day.
I gotta make a phone call. Which I will say, we also try and inject a little bit of humor into the documentary, so it's not all super dry. But yes,
I was just going to say, you've been holed up during the pandemic too long.
That's true. I got to get out from under this rock.
So we got this new guy in that house of ours. He's going to do something. At least I hope he does. Is this going to be part of it? I mean, this movie. Have you gotten this to him? What are you hoping he does?
We have done our best to try and get it to people in the halls of the White House currently. No news on that yet, but you'll be the first one to know once, you'll be probably the second or third one to know once Biden has actually gotten in touch with us after he's seen the documentary. My hope is that, look, the pandemic needs to be the priority, obviously. But he has said multiple times, you can walk and chew gum. We can do multiple things. So making sure that our grade for the bridges that are the frailest, those get addressed, that our broadband gets addressed. We've seen during the pandemic, the roads and bridges matter very much. But if you look at what the agenda was for the Obama-Biden administration toward the end, broadband for everyone was something that they were really driving toward.
Yeah, we need it.
And all momentum stopped around that. So there are so many ways for us to address this, but having Mayor Pete, pushing the agenda and trying to shake out a little bit of money that is invested in a smart way, not just, hey, let's pour more tar into, holes that are going to continue to pop up. We need to re-engineer and reimagine these roads. Yeah, I know I was talking about it this morning with a friend of mine who lives in Allentown, that there are some major thoroughfares there that have been redesigned. And that's a critical part of this. It's not just about the patchwork or adding a single lane. It's reimagining how the infrastructure can work in a better way for our entire country.
Absolutely. The movie Be Prepared to Stop. Check out the website bepreparedtostop.org. We'll get links into the chat room and out for folks. Jen, I appreciate you taking time for us. Always great seeing you, and thanks so much.
Of course. Have a good one.
Good stuff. Again, bepreparedtostop.org is the website. Please make sure you take a look at that. And now back to the questions. I'm not sure I forget who was at the leaderboard.
So we had Corbell at the top of the leaderboard. It looks like we may have had another technical glitch, but we are also coming right up on 8 o'clock. So
Okay.
we may actually just declare Corbell the winner and next week figure out how to make Kahoot do what we wanted a little bit better.
All right, there we go. There were some other really great questions in here that I thought we would want to get to. Like I wanted to get to one of the the name that trader. So is there a way we can drop name that trader into the chat room so we could get at least another trader question in?
Let me see. I think
It's not a hard one. It's not a hard one.
I think we can make something work here.
Congresswoman Lauren Boebert is now infamous for tweeting, "This is 1776," on the morning of the Capitol insurrection. Which state sent her to Congress? Is it A, Florida, B, Florida, C, Florida, or D, Colorado? Colorado, what the hell were you thinking? Why would you send this crazy woman to Congress? Same thing with Georgia. Why would you send Marjorie Taylor Greene to Congress and put her on the Education and Labor Committee? It's horrible, terrible, terrible stuff. But I guess we're gonna wrap it up. We had more questions, lots of them. We'll save them for the next time. The hope is that once we get our tech stuff all in order and ready to be to slam through, we'll do it next time. Next Saturday we're going to be back again, and we're going to fire this up much better, much smoother, and I think I'll maybe do we pare down the interviews, the people speaking. Are they about right? I'd love to hear your feedback. You can shoot a message to us in the chat room saying, hey, it was okay. B, no, they blathered too long. C, maybe have Rick shut up and have them talk. I'm okay with that too. But we need to get some action. Over the next week on the program, we're going to be talking about infrastructure. So I hope folks will check out our program at thericksmithshow.com. We do our radio program every night, 9 to 11 p.m. You can tune in live to that or catch the podcasts on any of the podcast sites that are out there. iHeartRadio, Podbean, iTunes, everyone. Also, check out our YouTube channel. I'm hoping someone will throw links in as well. If you want to help out the program, help out our friends at Demcast and our good friends at Edge, make a donation through one of the links that I hope somebody's throwing into the chat room. We can always appreciate that and always use it and put it to good work. If you think maybe we should make this back to the 2 hours that we had last week, we'd love to hear that. Some of the feedback we got was, shorten it down a little bit. But, here we are, shortened it down. And, well, we could have gone another hour. We'd love to hear your thoughts, though. You can email me directly, rick@thericksmithshow.com. I do answer all emails personally. I would love to hear you. It is 8 o'clock. That means it is time to wrap things up because we said 7 to 8, and we like to stay on time. So I appreciate everyone for showing up. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you either on our program or next week back here for our next trivia night. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.